and see how he creates a choreography.
Yes. Yeah.
So yes, we
Wow.
did the swing content journey as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll be chatting more about that when we'll start the interview if you like. And how does it sound? Do you want to start the session?
Yeah, we can do that.
And I'll record it. And if you just give me 1 minute, I'm just going to go and grab something. Can you give me a second?
Cool. I stay here
1 moment
with my wine.
I'm back. Fantastic. Are you still there?
Yes.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Okay, cool. So, welcome to the Dance Show podcast. My good friend Eszter.
Hey.
We haven't seen each other for quite a while, and I thought it'd be really nice for you to share your story with the dancers out there, and just generally hear about such an interesting career and the interesting art that you do called West Coast Swing. So Eszter, thank you. Can you tell us just how do you summarize yourself in terms of your West Coast Swing, and just a little bit about yourself, Eszter?
A little summary. So thank you very much for having me. I'm very curious what kind of questions you will ask.
We both have our wine as well. We are very relaxed. It's a nice informal chat.
Yes, it was a very good idea. Cheerio. Cheers. So a little summary. I'm originally from Hungary. I lived there till I was about 25, and since quite a long time, since about 8 years, I live in Zurich, Switzerland. So everybody can do now the math. How old am I?
26.
Always 16.
Yes.
And and I actually work as an architect here in Switzerland. Cool. That's the main reason why I came to the country, because after I finished my studies in Hungary, there was not many opportunities. So yeah, that was the main reason, but also the interest of the country. Switzerland is beautiful. If you haven't been here, you should come to Zurich. It's not just a beautiful city, but we have in every February a very good West Coast Swing event. But let's not do commercial things.
Is it Swingsterland?
It's Swingterland, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, very social. Everybody likes it. Yeah.
Great. Yes, maybe I'll go there one day. I haven't been to Switzerland in many years, but I've been to Geneva and Lausanne.
Ah, you have already been there. Okay.
Many years ago. We drove there from the UK.
Wow, that's a long way.
It's a long way.
Okay.
Yes.
But it is worth it, I guess.
Yes, yeah. I was quite young, so I need to go back now just to rekindle my memories of Switzerland.
Okay, if you do that, definitely come to Zurich. It's also beautiful. I'm here. We can meet.
Yeah.
We can drink wine in person.
That sounds good. That sounds good. And yeah, so you work you're working as an architect.
Exactly. And dancing is, of course, always there next to architecture. It's always a little bit like a fighting. What is priority number 1 and priority number 2?
Yeah.
But let's go back to the origins, how I started to dance. It was around starting school. I was 6 or 7 when my mom took me into a little dance studio, very little girls and not too many boys. I hope it has changed. But at that time, not many boys, almost only girls. We did so-called jazz ballet.
Okay, jazz ballet, a fusion.
Jazz ballet, yeah. It's kind of a fusion. It's not so strict like ballet, so it's pretty good for children. It's very common in Hungary. Actually, I don't know whether it exists somewhere else out of Hungary, but in Hungary, it's very usual to start with jazz ballet.
And what a great foundation to have. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
That foundation.
Yeah,
I wish
awesome
I had that
because
foundation.
it's really a fusion. Yeah. Yeah. I really liked it. And I did it 3 or 4 years long.
Yeah.
But in between, I started to do acrobatic rock and roll.
What?
Yeah.
So a partner dance, rock and roll, or solo?
It used to be a partner dance, although it's more like a sport. So it's also called sport dance and not a dance. I don't know whether you know acrobatic rock and roll or not. It's really just jumping all the time, hopping, and doing acrobatics in between. It's all choreographed, so it's really sporty. It's really, really sporty.
Okay, great. I'm just going to switch. I can hear you even better. I'm just switching to my proper headphones here.
Feel free.
You can hear me still?
Yes.
Fantastic. I can hear you even better now. Great. So you did the acrobatic rock and roll.
Exactly. So that's something I started about when I was 11 and finished at the end of high school. And I had a partner, a fixed partner, 3 or 4 years long, and I also danced in a group with girls because just like in many other dances, there were much more girls than boys. So the business model decided that it's worth to do also competition for girls because it's a very competitive sport. So I had almost every weekend a competition.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Your parents were the taxi drivers.
Absolutely. Actually, I don't understand it nowadays, how they did that. Yeah. Because basically they had no free time. I had trainings 3 or 4 times a week and competition. Yeah, after school.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. And competition almost every weekend. So it was really, really tough. Yeah. And then I started to teach acrobatic rock and roll when I did not compete anymore. So I started to teach when I was 16, 17.
Did you retire at 16 from acrobatic rock and roll?
Kind of, yeah. Let's say no. It's really a sport, and we all felt because at that time I used to dance with 4 girls, and we all felt that the young generation came, and our time will slowly over. So we basically retired. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Then I So that was the acrobatic rock and roll time of my life. And then West Coast Swing came when I was around 21, 22.
Cool. So how did you find out about West Coast Swing?
Like many of us, YouTube.
Cool. What was the first video you saw?
I guess
Do you
it was a
remember?
Benji video.
I think that was my first one. I think it was Benji and Heidi in
Yes.
So He Can Dance, when they're wearing like pink.
Pink, the same.
Wow.
I had the same. Wow.
Someone sent me that video. I didn't even know it was West Coast Swing. I was doing something called Modern Jive in the UK.
Yeah, I had no idea that it was West Coast Swing. I had to do a research. Yeah.
So did someone send it to you, or you stumbled across it?
So it's again a little story. I studied at that time and didn't dance since a few years. I stopped dancing because the studies were really, really, really tough for me.
Architecture?
Yeah. And basically, I had no time for anything, just for the studies and for my boyfriend. And I stopped dancing and teaching acrobatic rock and roll. And after a few years, I realized that I have to start again something, otherwise I will go crazy. And I had no clue what I should start. I already did or tried out some solo classes, but I was not sure what I wanted to do. So I started just randomly watch YouTube videos. And that's how it happened. Yeah.
Great. So then you saw West Coast Swing. Did you decide, I'm going to search on Google for West Coast Swing classes?
Yes and no.
Ooh.
Because at that time, there were not so many West Coast Swing classes. So it took a while. I was not sure that I want to do this. But then one day when I was at the university, I saw some advertisement that, hey, young people, here's West Coast Swing. We teach it for students. Why not join? And I took it as a sign that, I pretty liked the videos I have seen, and now this is the good opportunity. So why not start? So that's how it happened.
Who was teaching at the time?
At that time, you definitely know Adam and Rita.
Yes, Yadi.
From Budapest. They already had classes, but this one at the university was taught by Koffer, Komáromi Ferenc, or Ferenc Komáromi. And he's originally a boogie dancer, but started to teach West Coast Swing as well. So I started with him.
What year was that you started?
Whoa, 2009.
2009. Okay. So
2009.
you haven't been dancing West Coast Swing like for loads of time. 2009, did you say?
Yes.
2009. Okay, no, 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More, actually more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Great.
to be honest, after a while, I stopped visiting lessons again because I was really focused on my studies, and I visited only parties. So when I came to Switzerland and I had more time, I had more money, I started to travel around. I realized that my knowledge of West Coast Swing is not on the highest level. So even if I started in around 2009, I would say really learning West Coast Swing, I started about 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
Which also quite a long time, I admit.
Yes. So, yeah, and you have done very well in West Coast Swing. If you were to measure it in terms of it's not everything, but if you were to measure it in terms of World Swing Dance Council points, you've managed to work your way up the divisions, and you are currently an all-star, which is no easy feat. So a huge well done.
Thank you.
How has that journey been? Because I know obviously we might chat about this later, but obviously the point system is obviously good and bad, isn't it? It can have good and bad things. But how has the journey been moving up the divisions? Has it been a fun experience, or has it been another type of experience?
It's a hard topic. The system has, of course, its advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
Many of the people use it to have some kind of feedback. Yeah. Although it's questionable how much feedback you can get from it, especially if you start in novice in a big event where you have 5 seconds from each judges, if you are lucky. At that time when I started, the events were much smaller. So I was in the lucky situation that when I competed in my first novice Jack and Jill, I could win it with my partner at that time.
Cool. So you won your first Jack and Jill. You won.
So it was my first Jack and Jill where I could also earn points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not my totally first Jack and Jill. Excuse me?
Do you remember your partner in that one?
Sure. It was András Buzalka, another Hungarian.
Okay, so Hungarian.
So we knew each other.
Well. Yes.
Yeah, we knew each other. We did not really dance a lot together, but we knew each other. And as I said, the event was pretty small, if you can imagine, because it was Budapest in 2012.
Okay.
I guess it was the second Budapest, must have been the second or third Budapest. Yes.
For those that don't know, Budapest is this huge event now.
Huge.
I don't know if it still is, but it did have the biggest Jack and Jill novice division in the world. I don't know if it's still true, but yeah. I've been there myself 3 times.
Maybe not that time. Yeah. Not in my time in 2012.
Yeah.
So I just jumped over novice, let's say. Whoa. I was the lucky one.
How many novice events did you do? Did you do one before you became intermediate, or?
This was the only one.
Yeah.
Only novice competition I competed in. So after that, I continued in intermediate. It took much longer than novice because you have to earn more points.
Yes.
And I did not travel a lot. So especially in 2012, I still lived in Hungary. So I guess after Budapest, I had another event in the UK, actually. The Midland Swing was my first international event in abroad.
Run by my good friends Lee Easton and Fabienne Henschel, yes.
Exactly.
Now the Eastons.
Not at that time, but nowadays, yes. And
yes, after... it was Paul Harris, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yes, good old Paul Harris, yes.
Do you know him?
Yes, I do, yes. I haven't seen him in years because he went to America, then he got married to a lovely American lady. So.
Yeah, years ago.
Yes.
So intermediate took quite a long time. And
by a long time, are we thinking in terms of Eszter standards, it took you 6 months, or are we thinking more than a year? A few years?
I honestly have no clue. But I guess it must have been more than a year.
Yeah.
Maybe 1.5, 2. I don't know. I really don't know.
That's still great. Yeah.
I really don't know. I just know that it was again in the UK when I could go up to advanced. It was one of the UK champs.
Cool.
In April. But which April? I have no clue. And then advanced also, I guess advanced took very, very long because many people came to me and made jokes that why do I stay there forever? Do I enjoy it, or what's the reason? But advanced took pretty long. I didn't mind.
Yeah, there's no rush. In my opinion, there's no rush to get out.
Absolutely no rush.
When
So
people are
it's
asking you why you're there, that's a good point to now
exactly,
to be at.
exactly.
Mm.
Because I think at the beginning, when you go up to a division, you are super relaxed because you are a newbie there. You don't have the pressure on yourself to have any results. So it's super relaxed. Then after a while, you got your expectations. And at the very end, you feel like, okay, I kind of know almost everybody in this division. I kind of feel finally comfortable in this division. I belong there. So yeah, it was pretty okay. The only thing was annoying, really, the people coming to me and asking, "Why are you still here? Why are you still here?" But otherwise, I pretty enjoyed being in advanced.
Good.
And I'm in All Star also since a while. Yeah.
What year were you? When did you graduate to All Star?
Graduate. Good word for that. Most probably 2015.
2015. I remember Citadel Swing. You danced with from Poland, Piotr.
Yeah, Piotr.
And I loved that dance.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
You were All Star then. That's the first. I think it might be one of the first times I'd perhaps met you. But that was probably 2 or 3 years ago, I think. Yeah. So, and now, how are you finding it in All Star? Are you enjoying it? Are you not enjoying it?
I enjoy it.
Good.
I enjoy it. I have never thought about thinking about it like this, which division I enjoyed the most, because everybody feels like they have to jump into the next division, and that in the next division you will be better or the partner will be better, but it's kind of the same in every division.
Okay.
Like, you don't know who you will get. Of course, there are less partners and less options in advanced or in All Star, so you have better chances to dance with someone who you already danced with before.
Yeah.
But still, there will be your favorite followers and leaders, and there will be leaders and followers who you cannot communicate so good.
And
So
that's okay. That's totally normal.
and that's absolutely okay. That's like in a party.
Yeah.
So I would not say I enjoy being in All Star more than in other divisions. Actually, because of the reason I already mentioned maybe before we started with the whole interview or with the whole podcast, I mentioned you that I'm not the type who really enjoys being on the spotlight. And in All Star, there is almost only spotlight.
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't
So
come across, to be honest. When I've seen you, it doesn't come across. And I think it also you can use that maybe to your advantage as well, where when you see someone who's over the top, like very overly confident, sometimes I prefer watching the people that are just in the zone dancing and looking at the audience all the time. And
yeah, it's good from outside.
Yeah,
it's good from outside, but you could ask, for example, Piotr.
Yeah.
And from the inside, it's very scary, because when you get me and my hands are shaking,
are they actually
my
shaking?
leaders, sometimes, not every time, depending on my mood, depending on my day, my confidence at that day, how I feel about my dancing, how I feel about myself. But sometimes my hand is shaking, and it's not a very good feeling on the other side of the hand.
Having the shaking hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are some leaders who can really handle it very good.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a very good tip for leaders, just to stay in close position, do some breath together, make your follower feel comfortable, and it helps. It's a little magic. Works very good on me.
I like that, the technique. Yeah, where you at the beginning, it's about feeling each other, feeling the music, what does the music make you feel, and then you might lead you might start off just a few, nothing too crazy, just to ease into it, and then you may add a few you might start to go up during the dance.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I was wondering, what advice would you give to people who are working on their dance or their West Coast swing? Would there be anything that you have found very helpful, very useful?
Good question. I have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
What helped for me is putting me into the situation that I have to practice, not because I'm lazy, but because the way I live and the priorities I have doesn't allow me as much time for practicing as I want.
Okay.
But if you put yourself into the situation that you have to practice because you prepare for something, for example, with a routine or just for a show, then it gives you a very good reason to do the hours into it. So that's something which I could advise, having a buddy, a partner who can also ask you, hey, how about practicing, even if you practice alone, especially nowadays. It's just good to have someone tracking you if you cannot track yourself, because otherwise I'm a really tracking person. But as many of us, I do West Coast swing mainly as a hobby, even if I teach and compete, and I love teaching. But at the moment, I'm working on it to have more time for dancing. And if someone does it as a hobby just as me, then it's hard to put the time into practice instead of just going to a party and enjoying yourself, because that should be the main reason why we do the whole thing, right?
Yeah. So when you say practice with a partner, what would be a practice session for you with a partner?
It depends again on the goal. So there can be many goals and many goals to practice. Let's start from the beginning. So what I did before was practicing social. So the reason why we get together with a partner to practice our connection, being a better social dancer.
Okay, so you be in the studio together, just you two, and just thinking.
Just the two of us, and tell each other what we want to practice. So we just drop in ideas, what we want to practice. Sometimes, as I said, it's for social dancing. Sometimes it can be technique, which you can use also for social and also for competition. Sometimes it can be for competition, for shows. And if it's a routine, it's totally different anymore, of course.
Yes.
Something totally different. So if we decide on the topic, we can also decide whether we both work on it or just one of us and the other gives feedback. Or it also happened that we had two different topics, but the two topics really matched. So one of us could work on his topic and the other on her, and it worked pretty well together.
So have you had a lot of practice then in with a dance partner?
Because of the routine last year, yes, but otherwise, no.
Does that mean you practice on your own? Does it mean you practice a lot on your own, or was it more other ways?
I wish it would be like that, but yeah, that's the thing. I'm not the best person to ask about practicing. And the reason is because all the free time I have after working, I spend either with my boyfriend or with my dance teacher partner, Yuri Dorko, who I dance in Zurich with.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yuri, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very tall.
Very tall, very tall. Very
Great.
good teacher
Great guy,
and
great guy.
very good partner. I'm a
Yeah.
lucky one.
So
So usually when I have a spare time, I spend it to prepare for classes.
which is a good way of practicing as well, because you have to think through, oh, I'll do this move, but how do I normally do it? You have to explain it and think about it, don't you? So I think
yeah, but it's mainly thinking about it. And I would say my knowledge is quite good and I know what I should do and how, but just to know doesn't mean it will go into your body.
Yes,
so
indeed.
you really have to practice as long as it becomes natural.
Good advice.
And you have to practice it solo, you have to practice it with a partner. Yeah, and that's what's missing in my life at the moment.
At the moment. Yes.
At the moment.
Yes.
Very important.
So something I like to tell people, which I find helpful, is even if you practice 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but every day or most days, after 1 year, the progress. So even if you live in an apartment, you have to take a lift or an elevator, as they say in North America. You have you have a mirror there, and you can just practice your rolling action. But if you do that every time you take the elevator, even those little micro practices, for some people that works. Or some people don't want to say, "Oh, I've got to find 15 minutes," and some people prefer, "I'll do 2-minute chunks throughout the day." So that's something that some of our people listening could find useful.
Yes, good idea. Also, just to find these little practices in the daily routine.
Yeah.
So even if I don't have this routine built into my days, because I prefer to have longer sessions. So when I practice, then I have at least an hour, but usually more for that.
Wow. On your own or with somebody else?
On my own, usually on my own.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So even if you don't have this routine regularly, what I also can suggest is to build into your days, just to take care of your posture, just to take care of your core, whether you use your core when you're walking or do you release it, and it gives you automatically not necessarily a bad posture, but your pelvis will go a little bit backwards, which also for your health not really good. So that's something I try to take care during my day. So act like a dancer even if I'm not dancing.
Very nice.
And
so by using your core when you're walking, what would you do for that?
What would I do for that?
Are you thinking in your head, I'm engaging my core 5%, or I'm some people might not think, oh, I'm not doing anything, I'm just walking. They might not be mindfully thinking about their core.
No, I'm mindfully thinking about it. So it's something that's really easy to check, because you can feel whether your core muscle is engaged or not, unless you are doing it naturally all the time.
Yeah.
But because I know that I don't use it naturally, I can check it very quickly whether I do it or not.
Cool.
And instead of thinking about the muscle, I just think about making my whole spine longer. I'm sure you have already heard this rope idea, like I would have a rope within my body in the center axis next to the spine, or the spine would be a rope and pulled up and down. And it automatically brings me into a good posture and my core will be engaged a little bit.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So this is one of these tricks, and actually Benji Schwimmer does similar stuff, like when you forget your keys and have to turn back to the table where you have left your keys, then check whether you have pigeon toe or have you turned back with a pivoting, so that your whole leg is integrated, and instead of getting into pigeon toes, have you turned like you would turn in West Coast swing properly. So these are small things that you can just build into your days.
Great stuff.
And be a dancer all the time and not just on the dance floor.
That's fantastic. I love that. Well, pivoting. Yeah, that's fantastic. And are you doing any online? Do you have any online learning yourself, or giving any online lessons to people?
Online learning, yes.
Yeah.
I just had also last week a private lesson online.
Nice.
Yeah, and maybe I will have a private lesson with a new student this week or next week. We just have to schedule it. So yes, both works nowadays.
Yeah, that's cool. It's amazing how I'm really noticing the growth of West Coast Swing online in the last 2 years. Lots of cool things out there. So yeah, it's amazing seeing the shift. It's so obviously private lessons in person are still obviously very much part of our dance, but the online is also good for, especially in a time like this where we are currently, many people have to stay at home due to the COVID-19 situation at the moment.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy that even if many of these opportunities have already existed, like you said, since years, I just have the feeling that in the last 1 week or 2 weeks, it just boomed.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. I'm actually doing Miles and Tessa's footwork agility.
Yeah, me too.
7-day challenge is great, and reading
awesome.
reading the people putting their videos up, but then their questions and the answers that you get from Miles and Tessa. It's great.
Okay.
And the email comes on my inbox each day, and I'm like, oh yeah, what's even the tips about the shoes, how to break in shoes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Good. That was good. Yeah, that was yesterday's one.
Yeah, I'm very, very thankful that they put the time and effort in it. It's
yeah, it's great. And there's also there's this weekend there's one coming up as well. I forget what it's called. The Westie. I think Tashina Beckman King is putting it together with
I have seen it.
Cameo, and there's like there's 2 weekends. Full of like a summit, almost like a West Coast Swing summit. I also saw Robert Royston's got his one come up as well.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of cool stuff. So plenty of stuff for us to take in and enjoy. I was also wanted to ask you how. So with your ballet, because when I watch you, I feel there's a really beautiful poise and the way you hold yourself and move the port de bras, your arms, and does that come from your ballet training, your ballet / jazz training? Has it helped you?
Yes, it's. I think that's definitely a point where it comes from. I also visit nowadays a few contemporary lessons, which helps to move more naturally. Highly recommended.
Great.
And
is there a certain type of contemporary technique the class you're going to? Like Release Cunningham, or is it like a general one?
I'm not really into it, so I usually go to different ones. So sometimes I go to contact improv, which is very good to learn more about the connection.
I've always feel very scared to do that one. I always feel very scared to try that one.
Scared? Why?
Because you're like, there's no rules, and you're just like playing with somebody else. It's a bit vulnerable. Like, oh, what's gonna happen?
But there are still some not rules, but the teacher gives you some advices. So of course you can do whatever you want, but usually there is, let's say, now we will use from our pocket only this and that. So they give you the boundaries to work with, so you can focus on that stuff. Actually, it's really, 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 really amazing. I have my biggest problem with that is that I forget to breathe.
Okay.
I'm so concentrating that usually the teacher's advice is that, Eszter, breathe sometimes, please. Yeah.
So you do that every week?
No, sadly not. I used to for a month or two. Now I have to, we'll see when I can visit again classes.
That's really good.
But last year was extraordinary because of the routine I did with Lucas.
Wow, yes, in the US Open.
Exactly. And because of that, I stopped visiting classes because we really used all the free time we had to practice. And since then, I did not start again. So it will come hopefully soon.
How was the experience doing a routine at the US Open, a rising star routine? It's not easy.
It's absolutely not easy. I underestimated the whole thing.
Another round.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was a very good journey, interesting, and I have learned a lot of it. I have learned a lot of West Coast swing. I have learned a lot about myself. Also about choreographing. I was lucky enough to work together with the Benji swimmer.
Wow.
So yes, altogether it was very exhausting. I really underestimated the whole process, but it has definitely worth it.
Fantastic.
And everybody who can do it, do a routine. It's very, very good and worth it. And also, as you said, we have so many options also online. I remember it was last year, about the end of the year, there was this project that different pros put together a routine, and you could learn it from the videos and adjust the way you want it.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know.
No. Sadly, I don't remember who was the organizer, but I know Sammy and Maria took part, Jakub and Emeline, and so on and so on. So everybody took a little piece of choreography and gave it to the people to learn and enjoy and getting better.
Fantastic. So that's another bit of a choreography experience you had.
No, I didn't, because at that time I was busy with our own rising star routine. But I really like the idea that the pros try to encourage people to start with routines, because it's a totally different type of experience and you can learn a lot from it. Absolutely. And usually dancers think that, I don't like it because it's a social dance. I'm not interested in choreographies, but it's not just for the shows and it's not just for the spotlight. It's really for technique, for connection, to learn about yourself, to learn about the partner. I guess I haven't improved in West Coast swings since a long time as much as I did last year because of the routine.
Okay, so it really helped you improve you.
Absolutely. You also work together with people you wouldn't anyway, maybe, and you learn new patterns you wouldn't, new techniques, and it just opens new opportunities, new ways. And
how's your relationship with Lucas now? Still good?
Yeah, we are still friends.
Good. That's my worry, isn't it? I'm like, oh no, if I do a routine with someone, it's going to get so intense. How are we going to?
No. No, it was very intense, but and of course we had our ups and downs, but usually we had ups.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, he's a great guy, very mature guy. So
I have to recontact him because.
yeah. Hello, Lucas, if you're listening.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey. So have you? I also want to address the issue of injuries. Have you ever had any injuries in your throughout your since you've been dancing? Any injuries that have kept you out of dancing?
Sure.
Any? Yeah, it'd be nice to hear a bit about that actually for those that are dealing with injury, because I'm currently having injury, which I'm not going too much at the moment, but it's been very difficult. So have you? What's your experience with injuries at the moment?
I'm pretty lucky.
Cool.
With age, it won't get better, though.
Well, you never know, because you may learn to move in more sensible ways with better technique.
That's true. That's true.
Yes.
My last injury happened last summer before the practice with Lucas. We were warming up and I wanted to make my warm up short, and I imagined that I'm still 16 and I can just do a split without any big warm up. And my body just showed me that it's not really true anymore.
So what happened?
Nothing worse, nothing bad, but I couldn't do splits for almost half a year.
Okay.
Because my hamstring was injured a little bit.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I still could dance, but so it did not hurt so much. But yeah, I have learned that I am not the one who will stay 16 all of my life. Sad, but true.
That's good. You could still dance. That's good. I'm happy.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Otherwise, as I said, I'm pretty lucky with injuries. I had a bigger one during my acrobatic rock and roll career.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, with acrobatics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm quite happy. What about you? Why do you have to stay away from dancing?
Oh, well, I've managed to return back to West Coast Swing, but I've had to stop hip hop for the time being. Well, I actually was diagnosed with a herniated disc in my back in December, which basically is like a slip disc. So that's been it's been a very challenging time. But I've been doing a lot of learning about movement and posture, which is why it was interesting to hear you talk about posture and the core muscles, and just doing a lot of rehabilitation at the moment. And yeah, it's been difficult. I get pain every day, but it's getting less. It's less than it was 3 months ago.
Okay.
So yeah, that
doesn't sound good, but
it hasn't been great though. But I'm so happy I can dance West Coast Swing, so that's really good. Just have to be careful at the moment with certain things I do. So I'm not going to lead any dips with at the moment. So
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. I'm able to practice West Coast Swing, and so I'm very grateful.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. But do you have to do also every day some exercises to make it better?
Yeah, so my friend got me a book. We're on the camera now, so I can show you, but obviously people can't see. But this is called The Back Mechanic by Dr. Stuart McGill. And this book, this is my friend who I met. His name's Eric. He's from Canada. Moved to Lisbon last year. We've got a WhatsApp group. We've got a WhatsApp group for our West Coast Swing. I just posted in the group about my back and I can't dance at the moment. And he bought this book and sent it to me in the post without telling me. And the book has just been amazing.
Okay.
Literally amazing. And it's just this guy has researched the back for 30 years, and he helps so many people, including Olympic athletes who have destroyed their back, and then they go back and break a world record. So he helps them have correct ways of movement and posture, because a lot of the time a bad back can be from years of a bad habit of posture or sitting or moving, picking things up. So yeah,
inspiring.
I'm learning a lot. Yeah, so it's helped me a lot. Yeah, Which is why dance, I think, plays an important role in people's lives, because if you learn about posture from a young age and good ways of movement, then you can potentially avoid many bad injuries. But obviously, doing dance
True.
to a high level can also bring injuries if you don't do it correctly. Like ballet dancers, professional ballet
Yeah.
dancers can get injured a lot. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
I have a big passion in dance medicine and dance science, as you can probably get. So yeah. So Esther, do you have any advice, things you've learnt in your West Coast Swing journey that you would like to share with anybody to save them having to make the same mistakes?
Everybody's different, so I don't have a good advice for everybody. But what my biggest issue and biggest journey in West Coast Swing is to always remember why I do this, why I started this.
Yeah.
And to have fun. I don't want to say that stop comparing, because that's something you will always do. But usually people say compare yourself to your old yourself, which is also a pressure on you, which is not always necessary.
That's true.
So my advice is to also take care of your mental hygiene.
Very important.
There are very good books on that.
Any you
There are
recommend?
some. Yes, I have to.
Oh, care to share?
I have to look for it because it has a super hard and long title. But if you just give me a second.
Of course. Yes, mindset, I think, is something I'm very passionate about.
Or if you have show notes, you can also write it down. I will share it with you.
Okay.
But it's a very useful book. It has also some exercises, some own studies with yourself. So it makes you think about how you think when you are practicing, when you are on the dance floor, when you are watched by the others during spotlight and so on. So it was very, very helpful. And you can also reach out within dancing or outside of the dancing world for professionals who can help with these mental issues.
Yeah, I know.
If you have mental issues, you don't have to have issues at all, but we get very vulnerable when we dance, and we have to appreciate this.
Yeah, I know Tashina Beckman-King has got a lot of stuff.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, great. I like a YouTube channel by a guy called Paradox. Do you know this channel?
No, I don't.
He's a hip hop dancer who's been dancing for about 15, 20 years, and he has a lot of cool stuff on mindset and helping you in your freestyle, just good ways to think rather than putting pressure on yourself to have to do big moves all the time. And
yeah,
it's good. So I found it quite relevant for Jack and Jill's. So
yes,
and he has, I think his channel is called Ask Paradox, but he's a really wise dancer who shares some cool stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Please share.
Absolutely. And Esther, so and to finish off, we'd lovely to hear about do you have any plans for the future with your in your dancing journey? Oh, care to share?
Yeah, why not? Cool. So there is a little fight in me since a few years whether I want to do architecture or I want to do dancing as a dance teacher. And even if I know that there is no black and white, yes or no, 1 or 0, there are many other colors, numbers in between. I still think of that way, and that's what stopped me till now to do what I wanted since a long time, and it is a solo dance course for West Coast swing dancers here locally.
Wow.
For the Zurich people. And since this year, January, I work only 4 days instead of 5. So I have 1 day for myself and for this solo course. So
Wow.
at the moment, I'm working on this to put together a cool solo course for our community.
Wow, that sounds really good. That's
Yeah.
and have that day where you focus on something else. Is it going to be online, or is it going to be in person, the course?
It will be in person, if we get if we get there.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get there soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exciting. So there are some projects in the pipeline.
Exactly.
Eszter.
No, it's really really exciting. That's something I wanted to do since a while, but finally I have the time for it.
Yeah.
So.
And any events coming up for you? Obviously, we don't know too much what's happening in the next few weeks and months.
Yes.
But, do you have any events that you're hoping to go to later on in the year? All being well.
So the ones that wasn't cancelled yet, and I'm planning to go is German Open.
Cool.
I guess it's in August.
August, yeah.
It should be in August. And 1 month later, Bavarian Open.
Okay.
It's in Munich. Both of them are very close to Zurich. So I try to visit the events which are a little bit smaller, cozier. They are near, so I can reach them easily without flying. If not necessary, then I try to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
How about you?
Well,
where can I see you again?
Yes. Yeah, I was going to DJ at the Dutch Open later this month, but that was cancelled, sadly. Then I was going to go 2 weeks after that to the UK champs, the UK and European champs, but that's been cancelled, sadly.
Yeah.
And after that was Madrid Mad West in May, which nothing yet has been announced, but it looks like it might not go ahead. But obviously keep an eye on their Facebook page. Don't take what I say as being what's happening. But for those who are listening, but their Facebook page, they'll put stuff on. But that could be 3 events all cancelled. My only 3 I had booked this year. But no, hopefully I'll go later on in the year. But I get to practice at home. I'm glad we've got a small community here in Lisbon as well. We have parties and we get to practice. Nice. So yeah. And so if people want to contact you for whether just to say hello, or if they want to have an online lesson with you or a lesson in person, what is the best way to contact you?
I'm on Facebook.
Yes, good.
You can find me, Eszter Móricz.
How do we spell that? Because people may be spelling Eszter the English way, and we'll put it in the show notes. We'll put it in the show notes. Yes, it's an interesting way for me, but it's normal, obviously, for you. ESZTER.
Exactly.
Cool. And Instagram? Are you Instagram as well?
Yes and no.
There's like a yes.
Yes, exactly. In some topics, a very old-fashioned person. So I stalk, but I don't share all the moments of my life in Instagram. So at the moment, it's Facebook or email.
Cool.
LinkedIn.
Yeah. Oh, LinkedIn. Cool. And also, do you have a YouTube channel, Eszter?
Not yet, but
if you search for your name, you can find some cool videos of you. So
exactly. And as soon as I start my solo classes, that's something which will happen. Maybe even Instagram.
Oh, yes, I do like Instagram, I have to say. Cool, Eszter. It has been lovely to catch up with you. Thank you for being so positive and calm, and thank you for inspiring me with your dancing. We had a private lesson. I think it's about 2 or 3 years ago now.
A long time.
Yeah, and that was really cool in the UK, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it
Yes,
was the first
it's the European Swing Challenge.
European Swing Challenge.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes. So
Exactly.
very good teacher. So yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you, and I
Thank you for having me.
wish you all the best.
Thank you. You too. Also with your back.
Oh yes, thank you.
I hope you will get there with your health where you want to.
Yeah,
And if you get there, I'm sure you will
oh well.
learn through the journey a lot. So maybe it will be even better than before.
Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you very much. That's encouraging. Thank you.